83.231, bracket 1, hoax regarding terrorism. The police also have the duty and are required to lawfully take into custody the Lieutenant Governor and Premier and charge them with domestic terrorism and hoax regarding terrorism. I can go on and on and on, but I won't because there's time limits up here. However, if you go into the Police Services Act and the regulations regarding misconduct, in Section 42 of the Police Services Act, your duty is also to apprehend criminals and other offenders who may be lawfully taken into custody. You may lawfully take into custody the Lieutenant Governor and the Premier for domestic terrorism, Section 83.01, bracket 1, and hoax regarding terrorism, Criminal Code, Section 83.231, bracket 1. A police officer has the authority to act as such throughout Ontario and has the powers and duties ascribed to a constable at common law.
What about when the officer terrorizes you?
Police, regarding breach of trust, which is Canadian Criminal Code Section 122, and I point my fingers at you, unfortunately, for wanting to keep your jobs. Breach of trust involves abusing a position of authority for self-benefit, like keeping your job, and against the interests of the person to whom you owe the duty of trust, which is to the population and safeguarding the fundamental rights and freedoms in the Human Rights Code. Police, breach of trust upon conviction can attract some of the most severe sentences of imprisonment for first-time offenders of any offenses. This could mean that the police could be in very serious trouble. So I ask the police to safeguard the fundamental rights and freedoms in the Human Rights Code and lawfully detain and question and take into custody the Lieutenant Governor and the Premier.
Do your job.
In the regulations of the Police Services Act, discreditable conduct. If a superior officer is telling you not to do your job properly, this is oppressive or tyrannical conduct towards an inferior rank. Police, you have the duty under Section 15 of the Charter, equal protection and equal benefit of the law, to arrest your superior officer. Insubordination, without lawful excuse, neglects to carry out any lawful order. Fails when knowing where an offender is to be found to report him or her, to make exertions to bring the offender to justice. You know where the Lieutenant Governor is and you know where the Premier is. There's also something else in here. I'm having difficulty finding it. But it's also your duty to report any complaints of a police officer or of the police force. By not reporting our complaints regarding the Lieutenant Governor and the Premier, you are also committing misconduct. In short, detain, question, lawfully take into custody the Lieutenant Governor and Premier for domestic terrorism and hoax regarding terrorism. Thank you.